Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy JImmygotsoul here with a quick little video. If you see my short, you would notice that maybe a day or two ago I picked up the arcade one-up pinball machine. This one is the Attack from Mars. They have a Star Wars and a Marvel pinball. I chose this one, kind of wanted to give you a quick little review on how it's been so far. It's pretty good, I like it. There's some things that aren't the best and some things that are good. To actually have like a virtual pinball machine in your house, you don't have to worry about dragging a real pinball in, which is extremely heavy. You don't have to worry about the size of it trying to fit in your house. Also, the pricing of one will probably run you a few $1,000s. So to get one for this price, I think it's a good deal, although it is expensive. Spending $700 plus on a pinball machine, I would probably try to catch it when it's on sale. I haven't seen it on sale lately, so I ended up just picking it up at regular price, unfortunately. I've seen it some places where it used to be like $450, but you kind of don't see them in the stores anymore. So I tried to wait, but before they run out of these pinballs and you got to go on the secondary market to go pick one up, then you probably spending double the amount of what you would pay. But so far, it's good here. I did mod this pinball machine, which took me maybe about an hour tops to get everything downloaded. I watched the Kongs RS video to mod it. So I do have all of the pinball tables from the Marvel and the Star Wars tables, as well as some other ones that I have downloaded. So it's basically 3 of the pinballs in one at this point, which makes the value of it a whole lot better. Now, the downside of this pinball is that the screen is 720p, but since I modded it, I got it to 1080p. So that's the good thing about it. I mean, it looks all right, it looks pretty good. There's a 7.5-inch screen for like your high score there. You got the 2 speakers in the front, as well as the Attack from Mars marquee, which looks okay. It's not the best, but that's some of the arcade one-ups. Marquees are like this, so I mean, it's good for what it is. But let's turn it on. Now, when you turn it on, it does take a long time for it to load up here, and I thought my pinball was actually broken as long that it took up, and I had the little spinning wheel there, but it just takes time for it to load up here. So if you do pick one up, don't be alarmed by that. That's just kind of how it is. It takes maybe like 30 seconds, and then when you do actually load into a table, it takes time for your table to get ready for you to play. But yeah, as you can see, I kind of get a spinning wheel there, which takes a little bit of time for it to load up. All right, so when we get into here, we see that we have the Marvel's pinball table. We have the Star Wars pinball tables. Now, each of these machines have 10 tables, each of them. So Marvel for 10, Star Wars 10, Attack from Mars 10, so that's 30 tables so far. This here is the Williams pinball, which I have downloaded some tables for this one. I got Zen pinball tables, and then I have Pinball Arcade, which has some real old tables that I downloaded. A couple of them that stand out is the Terminator 2 pinball table, as well as the Addams Family. If you're kind of into pinball, you kind of know these tables. So those are pretty good ones. But out of all the pinball tables here that I would have to go between Marvel and Star Wars. But I think I'm gonna go with Star Wars because this has like a lot of tables that I like. So when you go to the front here, you have your on-off switch, you have the volume, you got your plunger. You do have a launch button, which kind of acts like your enter button, but you also can launch the ball as your plunger here. It moves just like a real pinball table. You also have these 2 white buttons here, which kind of act like your left and right as far as entering and switching tables and stuff like that. You have your volume rocker there. Another thing too with this particular cab is that when you are turning the volume up or turning the volume down, it doesn't have the volume control on the screen, so you don't know how high you have it up or how low you have it up. Especially if you are trying to play at night, you don't know how loud the system's going to be. Like I'm recording this video right now, it's pretty it's nighttime here where I'm at recording the video, so I don't want to disturb anybody in the house. But yeah, other than that, this is it's a pretty cool table. So we'll just go into the Star Wars table. And again, these tables are from Zen Studios. Like you can see there, it's really loud. I'm turning it down, but you kind of see that I'm turning it down, but there's no volume control. So when you load in here, you have your language settings. You got English here, you got different languages here, Italian, Spanish, English. We're gonna go to English because obviously speak English. So here it shows you the information that you have. You have your left and right flapper. The left white button acts as your settings button. The right acts as your table guide. So it tells you how to actually play the table. It's not just, you know, flicking the flippers. There's actually objectives that you have to perform inside the table in order to get a high score. So we're going to push the red button as our launch button here. So as you can see here, we have a few tables here. We'll start at the beginning here. And when you load it up, it has the top 10 scores on the table here. So let's see if there's one that I've played that I really like. Is the Darth Vader one. Yeah, this one here. So as you can see, I got the top couple scores. I really like this Darth Vader table, but let me go back so you can see all the tables that are available for this one here. So we have this table, the Empire Strikes Back table, Force Awakens table. So again, like I said, this one has the 10 tables here that comes with the system, but since I modded it, I have these here. But yeah, it's so far so good. We'll try the Darth Vader since I kind of like this one. So when you enter, you do have the option setting. If you are aware of any of the other arcade 1-up cabs, it's very hard for you to enter into like a settings menu. The newer ones have it, the older ones don't. But yeah, this one here, you can play up to 4 players. You can reset the high scores if you wanted to kind of start over. But yeah, we're gonna pick single player. And here it is where it says your game will start shortly. It takes a little time for it to actually load up. And then that's our 7-inch high score screen there. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time for it to actually load up. But yeah, the presentation is pretty dope. I like it. We'll turn it up just a little bit here. But yeah, this here shows you the objectives of how to actually play the table. You can go through everything here, and that's just using the right and left bumpers here for it. But we're gonna hit enter for the to launch the actual table. Let's turn this down some. But yeah, as you can see here, another thing that I don't like either is the trimming here. I'm a little weird, but like the kind of like the grease from your hands smears this the trim here that I don't like. So I constantly see myself wiping the trim down or wiping it off. That's just me. But yeah, here shows your high score. This is kind of like the demo version of the game before you actually start to play. We'll load the game up here. But yeah, this table is pretty dope. Having a pinball, I'm into pinball. I'm not a diehard pinball person, but I do enjoy playing pinball. It's kind of one of my favorite cabs, as well as the Golden Tee. I would never think that the pinball and the Golden Tee would kind of be like my favorite. And I do have like 15 cabs, but out of those 2 are my favorite. But yeah, if you can see here, we will have the plunger here. But yeah, as we're It's hard to play with one hand. But yeah, it's responsive. And then also you can push the button here to launch it. We'll push the button and we'll launch it. If you hold it, builds up the power in it, launches the whole thing. But yeah, this is pretty dope. And you kind of have the high score screen that lets you know your score, also how many balls you have left. But yeah, it's kind of dope to kind of have the little screen there and then also have the digital pinball here. I mean, again, it's not a real pinball. Nothing beats the actual real pinball, but to actually have something virtual and not have to maintain it and pay for parts and all that different type of stuff. I know there's been some people out there saying that they've had issues with the pinball, especially after they modded it. They said that the control board overheats and the control board has gone out and they needed to replace it. And if you are into arcade one-ups, you know how sometimes their customer service can be. They could say something's not covered anymore, or you know, kind of blow you off. You don't hear anything back. But they said that you can take the control board out of the metal casing to stop it from overheating, which is basically in the back of the cab. There's like an access panel back there that you can get in there, and that's how you basically mod it. You hook your laptop up to a micro USB back there, and you flip the switch on the control board, enters it into like a demo mode to add the tables into it. I mean, you can add a ton of tables, not a lot, but I think you can get up to maybe 50, 60 tables. But just having a 30 tables is way more than enough for me at this particular moment. I'm still having fun with the Star Wars and this Darth Vader cab, as well as the Marvel cab. I haven't really dove much into the Attack from Mars, only a couple of those tables, but I know it sounds crazy that I bought the Attack from Mars and I kind of don't like the tables, but you never know until you get it, you know what I'm saying? But here's our light up marquee with the light on. But yeah, let's we'll actually go back. All right, so we go back to the main screen by holding the front two white buttons here. Kind of acts like a reset, so you don't have to turn off the cab and turn it back on. Now, I would like to mention too that when I was modding it, it did crash a couple times, but if you pay attention to the video, it's quite easy to mod it, and that it crashing and kind of resetting is normal. So it did crash on me a couple times. The program did. There was some times where I did get stuck inside the options menu on the other pinballs, like the Pinball Arcade, and I couldn't get out of it. And the only way that I can get out of it is turning the cap off and on. You just don't want to keep flipping it off and on, back and forth, which that can destroy your, you know, your pinball. But that's with any electronics. So we'll go here to the Marvel's pinball. But yeah, it's just the loading times on these things are a little weird. Sometimes it seems like your cab isn't working, but it is. So again, it's like the same setup as the Star Wars here. But yeah, we got the Spider-Man cab as well as the top high scores for those there. Silver War. There's the X-Men cab. Which one was I playing here? I like the Wolverine cab and the Spider-Man cab. But yeah, the layouts of these tables, if you've been to a real arcade and you come across pinball tables, I mean, these things are crazy what they put in here as far as, you know, the table. Now, another thing too, like a real pinball, as you know, like the ball gets stuck in some areas, you can actually shake the actual table to move the pinball like in real pinball. So that's another dope thing about it too. But yeah, this loading thing is just crazy. If you're not aware of it, or you know, see that that's how it is, you would think that something's wrong with your cab, especially when you spend a ton of money on these things. But yeah, I like the little 7-inch front screen here, which is dope. But yeah, this Spider-Man table is pretty good too. But yeah, it plays like the little movies on the front screen here. I think this screen, like I said before, is a 7.5-inch screen. So you're kind of getting two screens that you do have to worry about if they do go out. I've had pretty good cabs. I do have a Rampage cab where I can't play Rampage. That it kind of resets, and I know it's a bad board on that one. But as far as like my other cabs, I haven't had too many problems with it. I do have like a hissing noise on my Mortal Kombat cabinet, and like one little small dead pixel. But as far as like all my other cabinets, I have not had any problems. So thankfully with Arcade1Up, I've been having pretty good success with the cabs. I know some people say they're not the real things and that they're small, but I don't know where I would be able to fit all these mini cabs in my house. I'm barely finding space now. So I've been kind of like swapping cabs here and out from here and then in my basement downstairs. So, but yeah, for the size of them and the price of them, I think it's pretty good. You don't have to be constantly fixing them. And you know, if you've been to arcade, you know that there's always some type of machine that's out that they have to repair. But this one, you don't have to do too much repairing on them. It's basically, you know, either a screen goes bad or you got a bad board on it. But yeah, I like this this Spider-Man cab. As you can see here, the plunger is pretty responsive as well too. But yeah, this is pretty dope to interact with the pinball tables and things like that. Now, as you can see here, that my ball is stuck there. Now I can shake the table to move the ball, but yeah, you can do that as well too. But I mean, overall, I'm pretty impressed with the cab. Is it worth the money that I paid for it? No and yes. I wouldn't pay that much for it. If you can find one on sale or even cheaper, when they were on sale like at Best Buy for like $450, $400, I would definitely say pick it up. But for the price that it was, like $700-800, I don't think it's worth it. But there is a lot of replay value in these tables here in the pinball. But like my Turtles cab, once you beat the game, it's more for like nostalgia purposes to say you actually have like a Turtles cab. But once you beat the game, it's kind of like, are you really going to keep playing it? It's one of those things. But I don't think I would have that problem with the pinball. I've been playing mostly the same tables the last couple of days, so I still have a lot of more tables to actually dive into and play them and figure the tables out. So there's a lot of replay value in these things. So I would definitely say, on a scale of 1 to 10, the arcade pinballs is probably for me a solid 8. The pricing is one of the things there. There's just a couple other things. I don't like the trim. Just having a smearing on the trim here, I don't like that part of it. I wish they could have used something maybe a little different, but you know, you get what you pay for. I don't have to worry about the size and how huge a real pinball table is. I don't have to worry about maintaining it because I do not know how to repair an actual arcade cabinet, although I am pretty handy as far as when it comes to that kind of stuff. I wouldn't know where to actually start at. But with these Arcade1Ups, I do know how to replace the screen if I had to, or the control board if I have to. I've modded my Street Fighter cab that I've had since day one. So I'm somewhat handy in the virtual space of, you know, modding these things, but I'm no expert. So that's where you utilize YouTube and other big arcade channels that are big on YouTube as far as modding them and seeing how they work. But yeah, if you were interested in this pinball is like a couple years old, so it's nothing new. It's just that I'm just now getting my hands on one because I wasn't sure if I had enough space to get some more cabs. But as you know, if you collect, you're gonna find space to get your stuff. So the thrill of it is, you know, getting these things, getting in your hands, in your possession. That's the dope thing about collecting, as if you are a collector or you have more than one, you know, arcades, or whether you collect toys, arcade video games, you know, the thrill of actually finding it, getting a sell on it, actually getting it in your possession. So that's the cool thing about it. Again, like I said, I like it. I'll be playing this thing for a pretty long time. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this cab. But yeah, I do wish I probably would have got the Marvel actual physical cab, or maybe the Star Wars. The Attack from Mars, it's alright as far as the design on the cab, but I'm not too much into that. It's just more of how it plays. That's the more thing that I'm more worried about. If it plays good and that I'm able to mod it, I'm able to have all those pinball tables without actually having 3 pinball tables here at the house. So that's a dope thing. Let me know if you have Arcade 1-Up, what's your favorite cab? At this time, mine's is probably Golden Tee and the Pinball. And probably throw in NBA Jam in there. But yeah, if you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. It's your boy JImmygotsoul. Peace.